still remember the moment like it was yesterday. The cold sting of rejection that slammed into me with the force of a freight train. I was standing in the office break room, my hands trembling as I faced the fallout of exposing my supervisor's environmental violations. I knew right then that my career was over. My boss's face twisted with fury, colleagues looked away, and I could hear the whispers. Ridiculous, foolish, embarrassment. My boss spat the words out like venom. You're wasting your time, and you're wasting our company's reputation. You're just a dreamer who's destined to fail. That was the day I was fired, humiliated and publicly cast aside. But I didn't just walk away defeated. Something inside me ignited. I refused to be silenced or defined by their derision. I'd been mocked for promoting urban waste composting, filthy trash farming they called it, trying to turn apartment waste into fertile soil, a radical idea in a city that thrived on convenience and denial. They told me it was pointless, that I was crazy to think I could change anything. They said I was an embarrassment to the family, a fool chasing a pipe dream. But I clung to my conviction. I was angry, no, furious, and that fire fueled my relentless pursuit. I began quietly experimenting in small spaces, transforming scraps into compost, educating neighbors, and secretly building what I knew would be bigger. Every setback was a punch to the gut. Every sneer from critics, a reminder of how much I'd been underestimated. With every failure, I learned, adapted, and grew stronger. I was alone in this wilderness, but I knew I was onto something real. I knew I was sowing seeds of change. Years passed. The city's waste systems didn't change overnight. But I did. I started a movement, grassroots at first, turning vacant lots into lush green patches, installing compost stations in apartment complexes, inspiring a quiet revolution. My critics scoffed, but I kept going. My work caught the attention of environmental organizations, then city officials, then international bodies. I became a leader in urban sustainability, transforming barren, neglected lands into thriving ecosystems, oases of green amid concrete chaos. I'd proved that even the dirtiest waste could nurture life, that trash could be transformed into treasure. And the most astounding part? I made it. I built a sustainable empire around composting, urban renewal, and environmental education. I received awards, grants, invitations to speak around the world. I was no longer the laughingstock. I was the pioneer. Proof that persistence, passion, and faith in your dream can overturn even the deepest skepticism. I had changed the world one compost bin at a time. And then, one day, I returned home. My family's house was exactly as I remembered, small, cozy, filled with memories of simpler days. But I hadn't come back just for nostalgia. I had come back to face them, to show them what their doubts had almost destroyed, and what love, perseverance, and an unwavering belief in myself could create. I wanted them to see the woman I'd become, the life I'd built, the legacy I'd leave behind. They gathered in the living room, eyes wide with a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. I took a deep breath and led them outside to the backyard. I had transformed that empty patch of dirt into a lush, vibrant landscape. an urban oasis amidst the city's chaos. Trees swayed, flowers bloomed, and in the center, a composting station hummed softly with activity. Children from the neighborhood played among the greenery, touching soil, planting seeds, learning the importance of nurturing life from waste. I looked at my family, my mother, father, siblings, and saw their mouths part in shock. My father, who had once dismissed my ideas as filthy trash farming, looked visibly uncomfortable as he watched a group of kids happily composting kitchen scraps. My mother's eyes welled with tears, and my sister whispered, "I had no idea you'd done all this. It's beautiful." That's when I stepped forward, my voice steady but loaded with emotion. "This is what I've been working towards," I said. "All those years of being mocked, dismissed, called crazy. Look around. This is what persistence can create. I was told I'd fail, that I'd be an embarrassment, that my ideas were foolish, but I proved them wrong. Not just for me, but for everyone who's ever been told they're too different, too small, too crazy to make a difference. I turned trash into life, doubt into proof, failure into success." The silence stretched thick with emotion. Then my father looked away, clearly uncomfortable, as if finally realizing the magnitude of what I'd achieved. My mother's eyes shimmered with pride, and my siblings looked at me with new respect. I could see, really see their eyes filled with regret, and maybe a hint of understanding. I stepped closer, gently placing my hand on my father's shoulder. "All those years you told me I was wasting my time, that I was an embarrassment, you were wrong. I am proud of what I've built. I hope that, from now on, you see not just the failures of the past, but the strength it takes to rise above them." In that moment, I felt a weight lifting. Years of hurt, frustration, and self-doubt dissolving into the air. I had faced my past and turned it into my foundation. The family that once mocked me now saw me for what I truly was. Resilient, unstoppable, finally at peace with myself. Walking back into the house, I realized the truth. Your dreams aren't just about personal success. They're about proving to the world, and especially to the people who doubted you, that you are capable of transforming even the most despised waste into something beautiful. That's the real victory, when you stand tall, knowing you've turned the tide, and the very ones who jeered now bear witness to your triumph. And here's the lesson I want you to carry. Never let anyone tell you what your dreams are worth. The biggest failures are often just unfulfilled potential, waiting for that one act of unwavering belief to ignite change. Because when you finally succeed, you don't just prove them wrong. You show them how powerful resilience and purpose can be. That's the true karma of it all. Not just success for success's sake, but the undeniable truth that with persistence and passion, you can turn trash into life. And in doing so, teach the world how to see its own worth in the process.